Very good morning to all of you. So we are going to understand the concept of the SR flip-flop using the Logic Circuit Simulator Pro. Now, as you all know that the flip-flop is going to store the one bit of digital information. Either it can store logic 0 or it can store logic 1. So we'll be placing all the components one by one, and after placing all the components we'll try to make the connections, and then we'll try to simulate the circuit and we'll check all the combinations of a truth table. Now, when you know that when S will be equals to 0, R will be equal to 0, then the output is going to show the previous state. So, whatever previous state was there, that is logic 0 or logic 1, it is going to indicate that thing only. So when S will be equals to 1 and R will be equals to 0, it means that the output will be set. And if you connect your LED or the light, then it will start glowing. Similarly, for S will be equals to 0 and R will be equals to 1, the output will be switched off and the lamp stops to glow. When S will be equals to 1 and R will be equals to 1, then it is going to show the invalid state. So we'll first place all the components and we'll drag all the components in the main window. So first will be this SR flip-flop. Now after placing the SR flip-flop, we'll be having these switches as our input. So we'll just click this switch. Then we need a light also, and you know that this flip-flop is going to operate only on the application of the clock pulse. So we are having some option, that is 1 hertz generator, then 0.5 hertz generator, 1 kilohertz generator, 40 hertz generator, and 4 kilohertz generator. You can select any one of the generator in order to form the clock signal. So now you see all the component which we have selected in this component tool have been dragged into the main window. So now you want to segregate all this components. So for that we'll just put your cursor on our the component. The first one is the LED, that is a light will be segregated, then you will be having the inputs, okay, that is also segregated, then this one is there, and the SR latches flip-flop is there. Okay, I think we have not taken the clock signal. Just put your cursor here and you see the component has been dragged into the main window. So now just put the connection, but please ensure that this connect will be activated, only then you can make a connection. So you will have to make a connection, or in other words you can say a line has to be there between the two points. So for that, first put your cursor on that point, so the green light will appear in front of you. It means that point is activated. Similarly, you put your cursor here, so you can see here now the connection has been made. So this is for the clock one, then you can see here for the reset one, and the output will be here. So you can find here two output, that is Q and QR. So these two outputs are complementary. Basically flip-flop is only a one bit storage, so only one output is sufficient. This is just for the simplicity and the better understanding. So now you can see here when S will be equals to 0, R will be equal to 0. The previous state was 0 because we have just started our flip-flop operation. So initially the lamp was not glowing. We have just taken that lamp from this component tool. So now when S will be equals to 1 and R will be equal to 0. So for that you will have to go towards the touch and just place your cursor, so you can see here the lamp starts to glow. So when S will be equals to 1 and R will be equal to 0, you want your output to be at logic 1. Now similarly, when you make R will be equal to 0 and S will be equal to 0, you can see here the lamp stops to glow. Now when again you make S will be equals to 1, so you can see here the lamp again starts, or you can say again starts to glow. So now if you make S will be equals to 0 and R will be equal to 0, so you can see here, so now the flip-flop is going to show the previous state. Now what was the previous state? The previous state was the set state. So I think you have got the enough idea about the SR flip-flop. So this is all for today's video. If you have any queries, you can always ask. Thanks a lot.